All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Top Bin Talks post-game reaction for Canada's game against Belgium. First World Cup game since 1986. Unfortunately, still looking for their first goal in a World Cup, but fuck, what an exciting game and so many positives to take. Kwame, Jules, what do you guys think? Just overall, really quick snapshot.
Jules, you go first.
Like you said, Jonesy, just a lot of positives to take away from today. Obviously, nothing to be happy about with the result, but the fight, the heart that these guys showed, it literally shows that they belong at the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of both of what you guys say is like it's a positive performance. Um, like you could say that okay, Belgium's ranked number 2 and everybody was counting us out, but the guys came out there and showed that they belong and showed that they're ready to perform at the highest level. So I think this is a performance that we definitely can build off of against Croatia and Morocco.
For sure. I mean, it was ballsy as can be to go, yeah, we're going to step to you. We're going to not really deny service necessarily into specific players, which I think everyone assumed that we're going to be really tight on De Bruyne, which they weren't. And just to go, no, we're going to play the normal way that we play. So I cannot stand hearing this "we belong" thing though. I hate it so much. I hate that term so much. Like they qualified, they're top of CONCACAF. They're top of CONCACAF. Like no one has said that about this American or the Mexican or even the Costa Rican group.
Mhm.
Like almost it's almost counterintuitive to this idea that no, we're gonna come out and play the way we did against Belgium to prove we belong. It's like the terminology I can't stand, but you guys are spot on, absolutely spot on. And you can kind of tell the mentality from the starting lineup. Were you guys shocked at all?
I was going back and forth with my cousin about the starting lineup. I was going in between, like obviously the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3 or 4-4-2, and like I had Kyle starting, and then I did have Sam on the bench as well, but I didn't think it would be. I didn't think Hoyle would have started at first. So my original lineup was gonna be Richie left back, based on the Japan game, right? So I was going Richie, Kamal, Vittoria, Alistair, Tejan, Estacio, Hutchinson, Fonzie, and Kyle and Jonathan David up top. But honestly, the lineup that he came out with today, it was perfect. They put all the players in their right positions where they're gonna play their best. And you can see it showed up. Even the first half when Alfonso was playing left wing back, you can tell that's where he's most comfortable. That's where he was making shit happen. That's where he, like Julian Roylet playing like in a inside 10 position. Like that's where he's more comfortable, even though he's been playing right wing back with Reading. And then everybody else was just doing their role to the best of their ability. And they played a high quality, high level game. So no real surprises. Maybe the Sam Adekugbe because he started so often in the last couple of games, but other than that.
Jules, anything from you?
Nah, when I seen the 11 come out, I talked about it with my boys before. Honestly, I thought that's like what came out. That was gonna be the 11 that was gonna start the game. And I think regardless of who they started and who came in, all these guys, like what John Herdman preaches is like, yo, if I make subs, the quality shouldn't drop. All these guys are ready to go. You've seen little glimpses of these guys warming up. You could tell everybody's locked in, everybody's ready to go. So regardless of who they put out on the pitch, I think everyone did well, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think the majority of the conversation was going to surround who started between, I guess it probably would have been Sam, Richie, potentially Tejan and Kyle, right? Like it's like two spots for those four.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, how do you decide to go? But I think he absolutely got it right. Absolutely got it right. I knew Junior Hollett was going to start. I think part of it again, and part of the issue, you look at, Tejan hasn't played a ton this year. You saw it. He gets cramp. He's coming off. Richie, season ended a little while ago. He's getting cramp. Like it's a difficult climate to play in. And Hoylett's fit and sharp. Mid-season form. He's doing well with Reading. So, yeah. And then we'll just jump right into the game. Obviously, massive chance for Canada and this little goal drought at the World Cup. What are you guys' thoughts on the actual penalty call? Obviously, it was handball. It was called a handball on Carrasco from Tejan's volley, I think.
I think if he doesn't handball it, that probably goes in. Like that's how much on target it was. Like I was like, damn. But you never know. I mean, it's a good handball call. It's not like Carrasco was so close to Tejan. His arm didn't really need to be in that position. So it was always going to be a penalty when it went back to VAR. And it's just, I understand the moment, the pressure of Canada scoring their first goal, the headlines of Alphonso Davies scoring the first goal. Like he and along with a lot of others kind of carried Canada to this position, and he's the one with the most, other than Atiba, the most big game experience. Yeah, there's granted like he's never taken a penalty or anything like that. There's a lot of other guys that could have taken a penalty, like Jonathan David, Atiba, Mustachio, but I think it was just written if someone was going to score the first goal and if it was going to be a penalty rather than open play, like, okay, like let Alfonso do it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, personally, I probably would have made the striker take it, Jonathan David, because of his record at Lille, but it was the right call. Not the best PK, but I'm sure Fonzie will bounce back from it.
I mean, it's a bit of the Bayern Munich curse. It was almost identical to Lewandowski. It's just the opposite side. Like on the ground, not in the corner, side foot. Yeah, I agree. I thought like when I first watched it, I didn't think it was a handball. Like I didn't understand why they were going back to VAR. And then when I saw it on the replay, I was like, oh, Krasko's arm's out. It's a penalty. Like
his arms
yeah, and it's hard for him because I don't think he's not like he's that far away, but he's far enough away where it's outstretched. Like he can't, it's not like he's right next, you know, it's not like Tejan kicks it basically off his arm. So
yeah,
definite penalty. And that was not the last penalty shot that they would have in the first half. Obviously the next two with Tejan, Vertonghen catching Tejan, and then Witsel catching Richie. What are you guys' thoughts on the first one? So obviously Tejan gets called back for offside, which is why it didn't get called in the first place. But
I think it's an error from the referee or the linesman, whoever it could be. The Belgian player clearly plays it back. Tejan goes to pick it up, and then you lift your flag. It doesn't make sense. So, and
yeah,
the tackle is a PK. So
the offside call for sure, like that doesn't make any sense because like it's not like the Belgian player kind of like they deflected or like he literally had the ball under control and passed it straight to Tejan. So for me, when the replay showed of Tejan going down, the Belgian player does get the ball first before he goes to Tejan. And I don't think it's as rash of a tackle as many people think. It's because of like how Tejan falls, but if you do touch the ball, it shouldn't be a penalty, whether you fall or not.
Well, I think when you slow it down like that, it looks more egregious for sure. But again, in that situation, though, it's not like he wins the ball and goes through him. Tejan tries to move it. He gets a touch on the ball and goes through. Like, I think that's where the difference is. Like, if he wins a tackle and goes through Tejan's ankle, I don't think that's a foul. I don't really personally think that's ever a foul. It doesn't really matter where it is on the pitch. Like, if you slide, not studs up, but like with your studs showing and you get the ball, but you go through the guy's ankle, well, your momentum's going to take you there anyway. It's not reckless. Like I do think it was a foul, but because the linesman's, you know, mistakenly called it offside, like.
But my thing is, if it goes to VAR, you think they call a penalty?
Yes,
I think
I don't think so.
I think they do because again, it's
because he wins the ball first because the ball changes direction. When he touches it changes direction. So it's basically showing that like he touched the ball, he won the ball, and obviously your momentum's going this way. So if you slow it down and the guy wins the ball first, then he tackles him, it's like, all right, like if the ball didn't change direction and it was kind of like, oh, like it was just like underneath his cleat or something like that, and it still got to the offside call is what ruined everything. Don't get me wrong, because that's bullshit. But I think if you slow it down, it's gonna make it a lot harder for Canada to get the PK. It's like even like when we talk about Richie's one, in full speed, you're like, yo, that's a foul. Everyone's saying, yo, that's a PK, that's a PK.
Not unless you've watched Richie play and you go, I know exactly what
that. But like that's different. That's us knowing how he plays. But I'm saying objective view, If you see it, you're like, yo, that's always a foul. But you slow it down, then you see his leg, boom, and that's my guy. But like I know him, so it's like you see him stick out his leg, like he's going full stride, and it's creating the contact.
Yeah, I mean, I totally I know why VAR didn't give the one
Just let
against
it
Richie.
go.
Like
Maybe they let it go. I wouldn't be surprised if they let it go just because they're like, yeah, we're not giving you another penalty.
no, but I think like the purpose of the technology is to take that decision out of the referee's hands.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously there's a lot of emotion in it, but again, you can't. If you cut in front of someone and the guy doesn't try and tackle you, but you're in front of him and he catches you, like it's obviously a foul. You've got body position. But if you're just running beside someone, you can't stick your leg out and absorb.
Yeah, literally.
Like you're the one initiating contact. It's not the other way around. You might be. It's different than like taking and absorbing contact rather than just initiating it, right? So I know there are a lot of people that disagree with that. But again, I don't think you can.
Yeah, they both could have went either way. Either way, like if they got a penalty, I'm not mad because Canada probably scores. So it's like, all right.
Well, we'd hope.
We'd hope. I mean, but like, yeah.
That big 6'9" frame in there is
and that's what I was kind of.
I'm
like, Fonzie, just hit it as hard as you can, bro. At that point, I hit it because he's so big in that, yo, literally inside foot. It's like, nah. Lace that. Call it a day.
Yeah, massively. And again, like it was one of those games where Belgium were slow to build up, which made it a lot easier for Canada to get in their lines and make it difficult, and then also step on the press. And then the one time they don't, Alderweireld picks out just an outrageous pass. Vittoria and Johnston caught sleeping a little bit, and Batshuayi runs through with just again. And we talk about these fine margins. There's a player who, again, no one in their right mind would call Batshuayi a world-class striker.
I don't even think
that chance comes to him.
I don't even think he's better than Jonathan David.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either. But again, it's a guy who's done it at every level and scored in Champions League massively. He's proven he's done these things. Moment comes and he takes it. Like it's one of those ones where again, I don't like end of the half. They're probably thinking, "Hey, fuck, what a good first half. Let's get in. Let's just sit here a little bit and absorb this little bit of pressure, and at the very least get out of the half." And then that happens.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because like honestly, I think it's just that's where it comes to the fine margins, like the focus. You're like, okay, we've been pressing these guys. Belgium were exhausted. Axel Witsel was dying. Tielemans was dying. You can see everyone just every time Belgium had a time to counterattack, they just pass the ball backwards. Like, okay, let's walk a little bit. Let's pass it between their three center backs. Let us catch our breath. You know what I mean? But that one time where Canada's probably like, you know what? They're probably going to keep the ball. This guy just boom, peach. It's like, damn. Then you have to throw the kitchen sink forward, right? And those guys with their experience, with a back five, they're gonna with giants in the back five too.
Yeah,
like they're gonna defend all day. Oh, your right wing back is Mounier, who's like 6'2". Like that don't make no sense. So it was tough, but like we created chances. 21 shots at the end of the game. But it depends on how many are on target. What, 6 on target or something like that?
I don't even think. Yeah, I think it was 3 because Courtois made the one save against Laren's header, which again is routine for him. You got to get so much more power on that to beat him. Like that, he barely even dove. So there's that one. There was
the Alistair Johnston one where he Alistair.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah, that's one.
That one. But again, it looked like again, and this is one of those things where this was more eye-opening for how electrifying our players are, how many times they get in good areas, but it's also reflective of why at Bayern Munich, Alphonso's a left back. He's not a winger.
Yeah.
That little bit of end product that is needed just to, and it's different. End product's a lot easier when you've got Robert Lewandowski and Thomas Muller, Serge Gnabry, and these other guys that are around.
Making something out of nothing.
Like, but you can just whip it into an area and think, okay, well, this person's going to get there. Whereas again, Tejan, even at Bruges, he's a wing back. right? Like you saw it a couple times, great area, and it's a half volley that not quite in his wheelhouse. Like those, and that we talk about those fine small little margins, right? Of what it takes to be someone who can produce at the level in that pressure, right? That'll be really interesting going forward in these next couple of games because Morocco are athletic at the back.
Literally.
Them boys, bro. Hakimi
Hakimi
was going from goal line to goal line, bro. I was like, yo, what's going on? Ziyech, bro, goal line to goal line. Nah. But that's the thing is that this is their home court advantage.
Yeah.
It's home court advantage. Like these guys been running in this kind of temperature, bro. Like it's not even affecting them. You see Croatia, every time they get the ball, slow. But it's not like a Croatia and Morocco podcast. This is what I'm talking about Canada. But I'm just saying, like, the one thing that we have over probably not Morocco, but Croatia and Belgium was the speed that we had. Like the relentless, like running in behind, like the ability to take guys on the dribble, getting good areas to crossing and finishing, like try to get some finishing on the end. I think that's probably the one thing that they're going to work on in the next couple of days. Like we're getting these areas, just like make sure we have our scoring touch.
Yeah, and I mean it's interesting because I mean their set pieces weren't good. That was pretty shocking. But even the crossing and finishing, like I still look at it where you've got in that one you've got Alderweireld, Den Donker, and Jan Vertonghen. You're not going to win many aerial duels against them. And again, it's fine margins of those defenders. How much stuff did they get in the way of and get toes on and block and clearances? Like, you know,
but at least you're putting them on their heels. You have them running back towards their goal, which is important. I don't know how many balls were crossed in the air, but most of our crosses or cutbacks, maybe or like an inch off on the ground. Like it's like, damn, someone's running too fast, or like the cutback was too far. Like just like by an inch, like we were missing those chances. So I think it's just literally just getting repetition, like right runs, timing of the runs, and then just finishing it off.
That's literally back to what you're saying, Jonesy, about the quality in the final third. Once Canada finds that, the goals will come, everything will start to flow. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
There was some good deliveries, obviously, with Calder, Alistair. But once these guys start to get these reps in, Kyle Larin will find himself in the area. Joe David, all these, the goals will come. I don't have no doubt Canada will end the tournament with 0 goals. So
and then also the set pieces. It's like that's another thing. It's like, okay, what if this game was totally opposite, where Canada were on the back foot and Belgium were on the front foot, and then they get set pieces and then they're wasted. You know what I mean? Like that could have been an opportunity to get a goal against Belgium, because if you're missing chances in open play, maybe one set piece. I'm not saying obviously because Belgium has a really gigantic team, so it's kind of tough. But that's where we got the penalty from. Off a corner kick, gets cleared out, volley, handball, like little bounces and stuff like that. Those guys are not agile. They can't really turn fast and stuff like that. And Croatia is like the same thing too. Like Dejan Lovren is like, what, 38, 37, 38 in the back line? Like those guys, no offense, probably turn like an 18-wheeler. So like those guys are not going to be able to adjust to like short corners or like quick plays or quick free kicks. So maybe just mixing it up.
Yeah, I mean they tried to mix it up once, and De Bruyne nicked it and read it well. But again, there's just a little bit of quality, and I'm sure that part of it, again, it did seem a little bit like even when the ball rolled back to Tejan and he put it almost out of the stadium, it just seemed like they were trying really hard. And even Fonzie's penalty, it looked like he was trying really hard when rather than just balls back, I'm gonna strike it. Normally it looked like it was a little bit. I don't have a great soccer term for it, but like the hockey term is you're gripping your stick too tight, where it gets tense and you can't get the whip on it. So no, I think honestly, Matt, like for a first game to have that type of performance under your belt, I'm willing to bet they're a lot less nervous and a lot more calm in the next one too.
100%.
Yeah, and we'll look at Belgium a little bit here. Were you guys surprised at how wasteful they were in possession of the ball specifically?
Yeah. I think everyone, because they're ranked second and all that stuff, I think everyone forgets that like their golden generation, like the players are there, but it's not the same. They're not all. Only guy that's at his peak is De Bruyne.
Literally,
Lukaku's not there. There's no one else that's really playing peak football right now. And Courtois and De Bruyne are the only ones that are really playing high level football. Vertonghen, I don't remember where he is right now. Alderweireld's back in Belgium. Don Decker plays for what, Aston Villa or West Ham? Which one is it? Villa. What's it? Castagna plays for Leicester. And then you have Tielemans is on and off sometimes for Leicester, but like you have Axel Witsel. If this was Axel Witsel from Dortmund, different story. You go to Atletico Madrid, barely playing, like he's here, there, in and out. And then you have Hazard, who even admitted himself he's not the same player. Yeah. So it's like they're not the same guys. Like if I was saying, like if this was like 2018, damn, this game would have been over early. Like, because that's when everybody's like, yo, Belgium should win. They ran into France. It's unfortunate. But yeah, like they were wasteful. Everything was slow. Playing back to Courtois, who's not the best with his feet, got a lot better ever since going to Madrid. But Vertonghen, even like opening up, their first touch is slow. But when they did get into the attacking half, the opposing half, you were like, they have enough quality just to make something happen. And there was moments where it was kind of nerve-wracking. Like the cutback to Tielemans, who hit it to Batshuayi, and then he took a bad first touch, but good block from Kamal. Like just those little things, like Hazard, like a random turn, you're like, okay, that's old school Hazard. But then he can't pick up speed anymore because he's not the same guy no more. So just explosiveness was only coming from Kevin De Bruyne. Carrasco was basically playing left back. He got clamped, and he's usually a guy that's, you know what I mean? 1v1, getting out wide, service, left foot, right foot. So, yeah, Belgium really wasteful. But they got the 3 points. That all that matters is the score that's at the top of the top left of your screen, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games where it seemed like De Bruyne is going to pick out one of them, and he just never did.
Yeah,
like he just never.
And he's
did,
had opportunities. He had opportunities too.
I've never seen him be that wasteful before. Like just in possession of the ball, how many times he either made the wrong decision or the weight of the pass wasn't proper, or something like that. And that's why it's different. Canada got their tactics spot on. Their tactics were right. They did the right things. Does that change though if Belgium win 4-0 because De Bruyne has too much space?
Yeah, let's think about it like that. Obviously, we know Kevin De Bruyne didn't have his best match today. Let's say if Kevin De Bruyne is feeling it, he woke up, he had his good breakfast, all that. I had jitters in my stomach when I seen Kevin De Bruyne and our back line had like a 20-yard gap and he's running at the back for. I was going, holy fuck,
and he made the wrong decision. There was one play where he had Castagna wide open on the right, and he decided to go to Batshuayi through like I was like, bro, the Man City De Bruyne would have picked that out, but maybe
you know why? He
was also frustrated though. He was frustrated that their team couldn't build out the back, and they were going direct.
He thinks Erling Haaland's still up top. That's why he keeps trying to
just goes like this and creates 10 yards of space for himself.
Literally.
Trey, what's going on, man? Yeah. Buddy, so real quick, what was the atmosphere like in the stadium today?
Bro, it was mad. Like we got there probably like 2 hours before kickoff, and it was jumping as soon as we got there from the parking lot. All the family and friends getting off the bus, walking down to the gate. You heard "Oh Canada's," you heard screaming, you heard chants. It was surreal experience. It didn't feel real, honestly. Like it still doesn't feel real, honestly. Now, great experience overall.
Yeah, even on the TV, you could hear everyone chanting "Ooh ah Canada." I say "Ooh ah Canada." I was dying. I was like, "That's fucking incredible to sit there and honestly be at a World Cup game hearing that." Because you hear so many other nations doing that stuff, but to have it come from our section, it was just so cool. So it's kind of bring us through like start of the game. How insane is everyone going when they see it's going to VAR?
Yeah. So I think honestly, like to start that message that John's pushed through the lads as far as like really believing that we could get it done has trickled through to the fans. Like you could see in everyone's faces that we really believed we could get a result from the beginning of the game. And when we got that VAR penalty, oh my gosh, everyone's rushing to pull their phones out to record Canada's first goal. I'm like losing it. I'm shaking. I can't even hold my phone right. And, obviously we didn't get, favorable result there. But we still had that fight, and people still believed up until the last whistle. I think we all really believed we could get a result there. I think we outplayed them that first 15, 20 minutes. Holy smokes.
Crazy.
That was incredible football. Incredible football, man.
Bro, so when you first got to the stadium, first of all, obviously you know how everyone feels about the migrant workers building the stadium, but like, can you tell us about like the infrastructure of the stadium? Like these stadiums look top tier, like world class. Grass is greener than anything I've ever seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything just looks surreal. Like when you're walking in, how did it look? Like, did it look like a whole brand, like you were in a spaceship? Because that's how it looks from like the sky level.
Yo, it is built extremely well. One thing that I noticed is they have like 25 gates or something like that, bro, to get into the stadium. Whereas most stadiums will have like maybe 6 major gates, 8 major gates. They had like 20 something. They had like 20 something gates, and each gate brings you right to your section. You know what I mean? So we were
so there's no
6
traffic.
As soon as we walked in. None, bro, none. The wait was very minimal. Security was a little bit weird. They took all of our scarves. I don't know if you noticed, nobody was wearing scarves in there. They took all of our scarves because we had a CIBC branding. And apparently with their network and everything like that, they weren't having it. But overall, it was a good experience. You know, they weren't harassing anyone beyond that. So it was cool.
That's what's up.
Trey, tell me about the national anthem. What did it sound like in there? Because from the TV, it sounded like the place was going crazy.
Yo, honestly, bro, I was screaming so loud, I couldn't hear anything. Like, I don't think anyone could. Like, we were all screaming at the top of our lungs. I don't know if you could hear it through the TV. We were, like, ahead of the song. Like, everyone was, like, rushing through the song because we were just so excited, you know? And you could see the emotion on the players' faces. You could see some of them going into tears. And you could feel it through the entire stadium. You know, we were by far the loudest group throughout the entire game, too, even when we went down.
That's what it's about.
Man, it was amazing.
Definitely.
So
Trey,
overall, sorry, Adam, sorry to cut you off. But overall, like, what did you think about the game? How did you feel about Belgium's performance? And like, what are any outstanding performances for you? For me, it was Richie and Kamal. Those two balled out defensively, offensively, and those are the two. Like, obviously, their MLS season finishing early, and like they had to get some fitness. But those are the two guys that everyone always tells you like they're probably the most passionate guys. Like Richie's probably the hothead, and then Kamal's like second. But for them to show up like how they did today, like it was massive. So who are your standout players?
So to answer your first question about Belgium, I think it's easy to say, you know, from a fan perspective, Belgium didn't play good because Canada outplayed them. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a matter of Belgium not playing good. I think Canada came out, you know, showing that they could possibly be one of the better teams in our group. We came out with no fear. I'm going to be honest. Like, I expect a lot from the guys, but I was shocked. Like, I was in awe for most of that first 20 minutes. I was literally shaking, just like couldn't believe what I was watching. You know what I mean? But as far as individual stand-up performances, I mean, it's hard for me to not say my guy Kamal. He you know, there was a tweet that went out and he said Kamal Miller got that dog in him, you know, and it showed an X-ray with the dogs in his chest. You know what I mean? And Richie, I mean, Richie's going to give you that day in, day out. He's going to give 150% no matter what, right? So I'm glad that he was able to show that. I think another one that people might be kind of sleeping on performance-wise is Estacio. You know, he's coming off of a hot run right now with his club, and I think he had a great performance. You know, he doesn't do that work in the midfield, that grimy work. We don't get those opportunities. You know what I mean? We don't keep possession. We don't keep that press. So I think he had a great game. Even Fonzie in the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes showed that he's world class. You know what I mean? Even though I know he's coming off of his little injury and everything like that, he showed that he's still up there. So yeah, overall, amazing. Like, I'm still like trying to soak everything in. I mean, the game was a few hours ago, but still incredible.
Most definitely, I hear that.
Trey, how fast was it? Because obviously, like, you know, we've all grown up, we've played, you know, I've been lucky enough to play against some of those guys and everything. And I know how quick they are. I know how fast they are. How fast was it watching that game, especially with, you know, comparing our guys to even like the De Bruyne, because De Bruyne seems like when he got in space, like no one could catch him. I didn't know he was that fast.
I had no clue De Bruyne was that fast. There was this one play, and it's probably the one you're talking about, where he takes the ball from his 18 and just goes straight down the middle of the park, almost gliding like a gazelle. And I'm like, what? I'm watching like with my eyes, and I'm like, this is not real. Like, it doesn't look like he's sprinting, and he's just going through everyone.
And you're
But
telling people like, yo,
overall,
tackle him.
I'm like, yo, hit him, bro. And he
Hit
just
him.
right through everyone. And just that body control, even with Hazard, like that body control, when you think they've lost it, all it is one step and a shoulder drop and they're in space, and you're like, what? You can tell that, that class difference. But our guys are not far behind, and we have class players, and we have guys who are going to break into that next level of football. So it's only a matter of time. But as far as the speed of play, at times it was very quick, but at times it was a World Cup match. There was composure, there was time, there was tactical moves. You know what I mean? It wasn't just the typical soccer we're used to watching sometimes, on our side of the globe, where it's just kick and run and aggressive and fast all the time. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's actually kind of cool though, that you got to experience that firsthand. And I know like Richie's brothers there, he was on IG Live. I was like, yo, these guys are they're really living. Like family and friends are there. Like they have the whole Canada section. So like I'm living through you guys on the IG stories and stuff like that. It's really dope. So going into, obviously you had the missed penalty calls. I don't think both of them are penalties, but neither here or there, can go either way. The Belgium goal, did it kind of take the sting out of the game? What do you think? Right before halftime. If you go to halftime 0-0, I think Canada comes back up flying again.
For sure. After that first 20 minutes, like I told you about, where Canada felt like, we had to get one. We it started to settle out, and we're like, you know what? We go into the half 0-0, we regroup, and we come at them. And then boom, they scored, and the air just left the entire stadium. We were all just like, fuck. You know what I mean? We were all just looking at each other in awe, because that was their one chance. They didn't really even have possession in our third. You know what I mean? They had that one chance, that ball over the top, unfortunately, and then they got a goal. And for maybe 2 minutes, we were all kind of like had our heads in our hands, and then we like, you know what? The boys need our energy, and we kind of just regrouped. And I still, like I said, to the 90th, I still believed we could have got a goal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, this is a question for the whole panel. I mean, what do you think are the tactical moves John Herdman should make going into the next game? Because I'm sure Croatia's watched this game, and now they got put on notice that Canada's no team to play with. If Canada would have lost, like, let's say 3-0, maybe Croatia comes out like underestimated them. You know what I mean? But now, I said the next game might be harder, because Croatia's gonna be like, damn, we tied, and now we actually need points, and we got to show up against Canada, because if we lose this, we can lose to Belgium as well. And they were the World Cup finalists in the last World Cup. So, I mean, what do you think? Any tactics or is there any player you would replace in the starting lineup or sub on earlier? Like for me, I'd say like next game, I was gonna say play a 4-4-2 and put Kyle up top, because it just gives you an option to cross the ball when you get in those positions. Because we play so much wing play with Alfonso and Tejan that like when they get into those positions, Jonathan David by himself is kind of tough, especially against those bigger defenders like Vertonghen and all those guys. And like now you have Lovren and those guys,
And I think you give Kyle a chance to get a feel for the game. You know what I mean? As a striker, I don't know what position you play, but as a striker, you're coming in for 20, 30 minutes. You don't get that chance to really get a feel for the game. You don't get a chance to really read how the center backs are marking. You can see it, you can watch it, but until you're on the pitch, you don't get that opportunity. And so when you get that 1 or 2 opportunities, that's it. This is world-class football. You're not going to get 10 chances. You know what I mean? So I think having Kyle on early, that's not a bad look at all. That's not, because David by himself, I think he does but I think he does benefit from having another person up there with him to kind of take some of that pressure off, help him create more space for himself. And he did well, honestly, to get his chances even today. So definitely. I like the starting lineup. It surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the lineup, I'm like, what formation are we playing? I'm reading the names and I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. I think it was great to add Junior to the starting 11. I think that was amazing. I liked it.
They went man to man. I don't know if you've seen it. They were like, yo, Belgium's not more athletic than us, so we're just gonna run these guys down. Like as soon as he played to the wing back, our wing back going at him.
And it worked. I mean,
Yeah.
it worked. That first 20 minutes, like I said, they couldn't connect any passes. We were on them. Every touch. When we had the ball, we were going at them. We got opportunities. We got chances. We got a penalty. We got a penalty out of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, potential 2 other penalties. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't. My biggest thing is going to be the center of the park and against Croatia, because you're going to have Brozovic, Kovacic, and Modric who are going to control the game.
Mhm.
And so, do we leave 2 against those 3?
yeah, I don't see how we could do that, honestly.
And that's the thing, right? Like that's going to be kind of that battle, right? Because again, I don't think what Croatia are missing too, after watching them this morning, is they don't have a Mandzukic where they can whip the ball in and that guy's going to go create. He's going to score at absolutely nothing. They don't have that, so they've got to control the game a little bit differently now. And if they go 4-4-2, who's Eustachio with? Atiba can't do all that work.
No, you can defend in a 4-2. You can defend in a 4-2-3-1. And then,
but again, so it's not now. Okay, we're defending deeper because we're going to allow a little bit of pressure. Now you don't have the 2 up top.
mm-hmm.
So how do you start Kyle and John and JD? You know what I mean? Like
don't.
that's, and so that's now back into the question, like who do you replace? What formation do you go with? Because,
do you think it's better for them to go man to man in the midfield?
I don't personally. I don't think they can match up with.
They can't. They don't have the players.
Listen to
So
the
if
guys.
let's say they play the same formation they play today, 3-4-3, they're still going to be outnumbered in the midfield.
I think we're asking way too much of Atiba.
I don't think Atiba plays next. I don't think he
right
starts
now.
next game.
No, I don't think
We're
so.
asking way too much of him, man.
I think you
He
got
did,
his.
he did well. He
remember
did well for the first 60.
He did.
Like,
He
the
did
first half.
amazing.
First half he was doing well, but you could tell like the legs and for like the transition.
He's
The
39, man.
transitions. Huh? Yeah.
He's 39. Like,
Yo, yeah, that's
incredible.
Different that's different.
I think he got his honeymoon, but I think he understands his role now. So we
So
had
who do you put in? Who do you put in instead of him?
I don't want to see you throw Kone. Kone's a 20-year-old kid, and you're
Bro, I
matched up.
love Kone, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
He's a baller. I rate him, but bro, like I said,
if you can keep him on a short leash, man, he's dangerous, bro.
Bro, look at the guys that we're talking about in that Croatian midfield.
You're playing against Kovacic, Modric, and Brozovic, though.
Champions League winner, Ballon d'Or, Luka Modric. Brozovic is just a dog. Like Brozovic will go kill for these guys.
Okay, so who do we put there?
That's a good question. Eustachio for me, sure, but to play next time, I have absolutely no idea.
I would put Kone just for the athleticism. If you're gonna go with 2, I think you have to put him in there for the athleticism just to be able to get around. Because
Canada has always only played with 2 though. They've never played like a 3-man midfield.
Not a real 3-man midfield. No.
Nah, not a real 3-man midfield. Like David will drop underneath like in the build-up, but like they never really played a real 3-man midfield.
We even tried something with Fonzie up there. Not the last game, but the game before that, right?
Yeah,
it didn't go that great.
It didn't go well.
The only time
I didn't like it at all, bro.
Yeah, the only time Fonzie did well was against the U.S. in BMO Field when they first beat the U.S. He played him and Jonathan David were playing up top, but you also had Scotty Arfield. You had also
this is where you wish you had Scott Arfield. To be honest with you, you have Scott Arfield in this team. Throw him in the 10. That's kind of where you wish you
answers the problems, right?
David Wotherspoon maybe, but again,
you never know.
It's a tough one, man.
We're not talking about Oso either.
That's what I mean.
I know Oso still getting his legs under him, but.
Because I remember they played a 4-4-2 diamond or something like that against US. It was like Oso, Piet, Scott Arfield, and I forget there was one more person, and then Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
In the diamond, and then it was David and Alfonso Davies up top, and I was like, damn.
That could be the show to put next to Eustachio next game. It could be Mac, but
I don't know that he's got the legs though either right now. Like to do it for that long, or what they do is they do a 4-4-2 diamond, and they do try and clog up the middle, and they go, "Fuck it, we're gonna give them They were going to
wing.
give them all the space out wide, let them whip balls in, and we'll trust Vittoria and hopefully Kamal to go up and clear things out. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure they'll get it right. But I mean, they've been doing it well so far. Like, so I'm sure Herdman has a
Just on
plan.
a call.
I'm just, my only thing is just that I know that these guys are put on notice now. So they're gonna come out with they're gonna make sure they come out with their A game.
well, do they have a bit of pressure now too? Now they're like,
And they have-
well,
and they
look
have
what you did
pressure,
against
too.
Belgium. Look what you
Yeah.
did against Belgium. Let's see you replicate it, right?
Mhm.
And then obviously the last group game, it
Morocco.
could all come down to it, and it's Morocco, which is going to
It could.
be
It
that
could
might
come
be the
down to goal
toughest
differential
one.
too.
Yeah, Morocco's going to be a tough
Where are
one.
we gonna get our goals?
But that's the thing. It's the goals, man. It's the goals.
Yeah.
We did, like, let's be realistic, right? We played Belgium, arguably the number 2 team in the world, right? Did we think realistically they weren't going to get at least one? We have to finish. We have to score goals.
Well, I think
that's
it's
the
even
only way.
Well, even Trey, you have to create more chances. Like, in realistically,
100%.
the only chance other than the pen was Tajon's the cross that he skied, because Kyle Aaron's header is good ball in.
Half
and the
chance,
header was on
half
target, but Courtois basically that was routine. Like,
All
that's
over
got to be whipped in way harder by Alistair, and the header's got to be even better. Like, JD had a couple, the one little glancing header that he missed the far post on, like that. Probably a pretty good grade A one. We probably would call more than a half chance, but we're talking like for 21 shots, we created 3
on target. Yeah,
that's not
that's gotta
and
change.
two of them weren't on target, right? Like 3 grade A chances, only one the penalty hits the target, right? Like that's the fine line that they've got it.
Yeah, I'm just
Saudi
sad
Arabia
that, like,
winning 2-1 and us losing 1-0. Like, that's the difference right there.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just sad that, like, we put a performance like this and, like, we didn't get the result.
I'm not sad
like,
at all.
You can't. No, I'm like, you can't waste these type of performances. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Yeah,
And that was
what I
the
mean,
energy in the stadium. It's like no more. We don't want no more moral victories. That doesn't mean anything. We want points. That old style, old Canada. We're gonna go in there and work our best and do our. No, bro. That's old. We want points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you know
what I mean?
You can't waste that, bro.
I also think, like, I still had to remind myself watching, going, this is incredible. It's awesome. For me, it's a warm up for 4 years. Like, this is the one that puts people on notice. Number one. You're telling me that some of these Canadian players now aren't going to get moves to higher leagues?
100%. But, like, those guys are not thinking about that right
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying they're not.
Focus,
I'm saying they're not. I'm saying as a
It's
fan, though. As a fan, I'm sitting there going,
objectively,
this is. I'm not saying that that's what the group should be thinking at all. I'm saying as a fan, sitting here objectively going, holy shit, this is like, let's go. Like, now we've got genuine, continual expectation on not just the group but the whole program. So let's go forward. This is a humongous stepping stone. And they're doing it they're doing it at the biggest stage, and let's go. Let's see where these guys can go. It's a warm up for 4 years. It is. Let's see where these guys are at in 4 years, considering where they're at now.
I can respect that.
Yeah. This is definitely a tournament that's going to be a tournament to build on. Like, now when we go to, like, Gold Cups and stuff like that, like, we have to win. Like, I know that's in the future, like, but, like, the expectation is winning or nothing else. Like, the US, when they lose, they're like, it's like, yo, these guys suck. Like, they're getting bashed on Fox Soccer and all that stuff. Like, that's the type of level the fans got to be on. Like, yo, we go into these other tournaments and we lose, God forbid, bro, we got to be like, yo, y'all are trash. Because that's the pressure.
Well, we can be a little bit more positive than saying y'all are trash. But I think,
but you know what I mean. Like, the pressure's got to be there now.
Expectation to make finals
consistent,
now. Yeah, no, for sure.
100%.
All right, fellas, you know what? To end off with, we'll do what would be your hottest take going into the last 2 games for Canada specifically?
Let me think about that one. I mean, it's easy to say, yo, fucking let's go get 2 dubs and shock the whole world. Why not? Like, why not?
There's trades. Yeah, why not?
Why not? If it doesn't happen, everyone says, "Oh, we weren't supposed to win anyway." If it happens, there's headlines everywhere, right? So, why not?
I would say the hottest take would be the person that scores our first goal is going to be the person you least expect. It's not going to be one of our
100%.
Name his
superstars.
name.
It's not gonna be Alfonso
Name
Davies.
his name.
I really don't.
It's not
believe
going to be Alfonso Davies. Yo, the person that's going to score, bro, Lucas Cavallini. He's going to be like a random.
I thought he was gonna come on and score. I swear to God.
Yo,
I swear to God.
I'm telling you, bro. It's not
Swear
gonna
to
be.
God.
It's not gonna be for me. I don't know why. Like when we're getting set pieces, like yo, Steven Victoria actually might score. Like I wasn't even like I wasn't thinking because those guys are thinking so much of like Alfonso, Jonathan David, those guys. Like Rich had like 2 shots today, and you're like, yo, wait, Rich is shooting. Then you have Junior Hoyle having. So you're like, yo, these guys other than Jonathan David probably had the most shots in the game, but like Alistair had a shot on target. Like, bro, he said it can be the most random person. Like, damn, he's scored the first goal since in Canada history in the World Cup. He's gonna have that written down forever, bro.
They gotta build a statue.
Yeah, that's it, yo. That's it. But yeah,
Where do they put it?
that's my hot take, to be honest.
Where do they put the statue?
BMO Field,
Outside OSA.
outside Ottawa, outside Ottawa.
OSA, bro. That OSA is probably the most legendary.
Yo,
part,
that could be because
of
yo,
Canada
Ottawa.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, outside the OSA. Ontario side. That's so funny. Like, yo, where is this Canadian Soccer Hall of Fame? Do we have one?
I don't know, to be fair.
Isn't it in the OSA?
No clue. Yeah, I think it is. It's that little
think it
hallway,
is.
bro. I swear.
At the top, right?
It's that-
Where they have the
Yeah,
plaques and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, he gonna be there. You got a nice statue, bro. Jules, how
You
about
got
you?
one?
My hot take: get Alfonso Davies off fucking penalties. Let Joe David shoot the PKs.
Yeah, I think that's standard. I don't even think that's a hot take, bro.
Jonathan
That should
David
be
is a
standard.
number 9. Put the ball down and score.
That's true, bro.
Simple.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
But yeah, yo, I mean, appreciate you guys hopping on. I know it's hella late in Qatar right now, 8 hours ahead. Fuck.
Bro, I haven't slept a night since I've been here. I've taken like 3-hour naps in the middle of the day. My body is destroyed, bro. It's destroyed. I can't. Like I don't even know
Yeah.
how.
I've been to
Bad.
Qatar and I know, bro. It's actually miserable, fam. Like
Bad,
I texted Richie one time, like 2 days ago, and the man responded to me like at 4 a.m. I'm like, bro, why are you? I'm like, man's are way knocked out, bro. I'm like, then I realized like it's noon at his time. So yeah, I understand. And the jet lag must be crazy.
It's bad, bro. I'm hoping tonight I can get through it somehow.
Yeah, man. But like I said, appreciate you guys coming on post game reaction. Do another one Sunday.
For sure.
Hopefully after a W. We hope it's a W as always. And hopefully our hot takes are not right. I mean, hopefully your hot take. Hopefully your hot take is right. Hopefully my hot take's not right. My bad. Hopefully my hot take's not right. Hopefully my hot take's not right. My bad. Excuse my sentence.